Okay, I'm back. As you can tell, all these videos are done on the same day. So I'm trying to get this project done and completed. So it will, all of the parts and pieces will be in my playlist. So you remember how we did the thread? And then we just put it on the bottom and we wrapped it around twice. And then we just bring it to the bottom to get a knot. Uh-oh. My little knot got messed up. Bring it to the bottom to get a knot. There's a little tiny knot in the bottom of that. I don't know if you could tell. Then we took our thread haven and we just ran our thread through that. It conditioned our thread. And I think I need to put a bigger knot. I didn't feel the knot. So I'm going to go back and make another one, make a bigger one. And so we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take our quilt and we're just going to put it over the back and we are going to run it over. And you might get some strings, but you could just cut those strings off. And you can cut them off now or later. And I'm just going to bend it over, but I'm going to bend it over the stitch line. There's my stitch line. I'm just going to bend it over. And I'm going to just, you can start anywhere. It's not going to really matter. And I'm going to put my needle in my quilt part first. I'm just going to take a little pinch of it in the quilt. Not on the other side. Don't ever go through the other side. And then I'm going to bring this back down around in the same spot. And then I'm going to start picking up little pieces of the quilt. The little seams in the seam. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to be picking up in the seams. Same way we did our applique onto our blocks. Every few little stitches. Don't go too far apart because you do want this to stay together. And if you use like silk thread, usually it will just bury itself. You can also use like some embroidery thread, what do they have? Coats and Clark, and they also have Soaky at Joann's. The 40 weight is kind of thin, and you can use that that matches your backing, and you can hide it that way. Because see, you can't hardly even tell where I folded it, you know. And once it washes, it's really going to bury in there. So just take little bites right in the seam so that you can finish off your quilt. I'm going to try to get to the corner to show you the little miter section. It's about the same thing. It's not going to really matter. And really, remember, don't go through the front of your quilt. You should not see your stitching come out on the front. So just keep going, taking little bite-sized pieces, pull on it a little bit, and remember to put your binding over, the stitches that you stitched on to the front. And if you took too much and you can't get your binding over the seams, then you could go and cut some of the white batting off, or you could leave 1/8 of an inch next time. But this being your first quilt, it's not really going to matter. I would definitely make my first one, my practice one, to see where all the kinks are, and then I would go and make another one, you know, that I was going to make for somebody or something like that. So we're just going through our little seams. Let's see. We're going through our little seams here. I'm over here almost to the corner where the miter part is. Trying to stay on the, sorry, I'm trying to stay on. Let's see, maybe if I go back a little bit, that would be better. So, I'm just covering up my stitches that's on the front. And I'm just going, taking little bite-sized pieces. Now I'm to the corner. So now here is the miter corner. So you could just tuck it in and pull it to the other side to make a little miter. Make a little miter. So hard to tell because because of the color of the fabric. You just kind of like miter your corner, and then I just take a few extra stitches in that little stress point right there. That's what I do. I just take extra stitches in that little side, and then I turn the corner and go down the other side. Then I just turn the corner, putting my binding over the stitches that you could see from what you, when you stitch the quilt on to the, with the front, when you stitch the binding on with the front, take a little few stitches. And if you use the same color thread that is your backing, then you won't see it at all. But normally you don't see the silk thread either. So I'm just continuing to take my little stitches. See? Continuing to take my little stitches until I run out of thread, and then I'll bury it in there. It's just like the applique. So you can go back and watch the applique video if you need more help with this part, because it's the same exact thing as when we appliqued these round pieces onto this background fabric. It's the same. So I'm going to go a couple of more stitches. And then that's probably going to be the end of this. And it will go pretty fast. So if you make one of these quilts, or you make a little quilt from my tutorial, just tag me in the video. You can just do @Lachelle1962. And hopefully I'll be able to find your video. And so that's going to conclude our video, and see how now my binding is on and it's all sewed on right here on the back, right here in the front. And we already got some of this side marked down. We got our little mitered corner, and we're well on our way to making sure that this quilt is totally complete. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, making this quilt from start to finish. And I'm going to do more quilts in the future, so hopefully by then I'll have my overhead tripod working, and then we'll be able to get some better shots. But for right now, that's going to be the end of this. Thank you for watching. Go through and just play the playlist and watch all the videos. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Leave me any comments, what I could have did better, or what you liked or didn't like. And I'll try to do another one and make the next one a little bit better than this one. But thank you for watching me. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Be blessed, my friends.